Welcome back. America's public school system is failing our kids, and that's why we have our ongoing segment, A Failing Grade.
And a new law out of New Jersey is showing this failure might be starting with our teachers. The state's governor just signed a law that removes the requirement for teachers to take and pass a basic skills test in order to become a certified teacher. The law was created as a way to tackle the teacher shortage. The New Jersey Education Association, a teachers union, called the skills test a barrier to certification last year.
And it's not just teachers struggling with test scores. New research shows young girls are losing their edge over boys when it comes to basic subjects like math. The Wall Street Journal analyzed test scores across the country and found that since 2019, girls' test scores have dropped to their lowest level in decades. Boys' scores have also fallen during that time, but the decline among girls has been even more severe. Researchers aren't certain why the learning gap is happening, but some believe that it's due to a rise in behavioral problems during the pandemic, causing teachers to pay more attention to boys. Other research suggests girls may be more adversely affected by the isolation of remote learning.
Joining us now is the Director of Outreach at Parents Defending Education, Erika Sanzi. She's also a former high school teacher and a former teachers union member and a mother of three. Erika, welcome to the show. So as a former teacher, what are your thoughts on this New Jersey law that's ditching the requirements of a basic skills test?
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. This is clearly a lowering of standards. And we saw this a few years ago. New York started in on this, I think, in 2017. And there it was that the barrier, it was considered a barrier to diversifying the teaching workforce because there are quite stark racial disparities in terms of how aspiring teachers do on this test. So for a while, equity was the reason, and we're going to eliminate this test so that we can diversify the teaching workforce. Teacher shortages have become the newest justification given. And while there are teacher shortages in some areas for sure, this is like putting a Band-Aid on by lowering expectations. And I don't see how anybody wins in the end in this, because again, this is not a hard test. We are not talking about something like the LSAT. This is a basic skills test. It is used as a screening mechanism to ensure basic competency in reading, writing, and math. And so the fact that the failure rates are so high for a test like that is a huge red flag. And I think there's a problem with saying it's okay to put people who can't pass that test in front of students, particularly when we have so many students trying to recover from the learning loss of the pandemic.
Yeah, and Erika, another thing that I think is interesting about this situation, I find it actually surprising, is that the state teachers union is the one advocating for the basic skills test to be removed. You've been a teachers union member. Why do you think that the other teachers would want that requirement dropped?
Well, I wouldn't say it's the teachers. The rank and file union members and the union leadership are two very different entities. But generally speaking, teachers unions do not like tests because tests reveal the truth. They don't like tests when it comes to testing student achievement, and they don't like tests for aspiring teachers, in part because the teachers union's goal is to have as many members as possible because members pay dues. And when you have barriers in place, that means that they may have fewer members. So as a former member of the NEA in 2 states, I can say anything that they are cheerleading is most likely going to be bad for students.
That's so sad to hear. Erika, it's fascinating because if you look at some of the legislature, they were cheering this on as well. New Jersey State Senator Jim Beach, he said in response to the law that we need more teachers. This is the best way to get them. Obviously, you don't agree with that. But what are some other solutions that you have seen work to solve the teacher shortage? Because that clearly is a problem in this country right now.
I mean, alternative certification is certainly one way. I think that a lot of people probably don't realize that many states have very strict requirements about who can become a teacher, but it's not based on competency. It's not based on quality. It's based on, did you get a specific degree? Did you check off these certain boxes that allow you to have certification? And so what ends up happening is a lot of mid-career people, scientists, biologists, surgeons, engineers, people that are very, very bright in their field often can't get into a classroom because they need an alternative certification because they didn't go to a college of education. So that is definitely a short-term fix, is allowing for more alternative pathways to certification. The longer-term fix is that this is an indictment on our K-12 system and on our colleges of education. So we're graduating all of these students from high school who aren't passing this basic competency test. Then they go to college, to a college of education. And the colleges of education get paid full tuition no matter how well or poorly their graduates do. So if a college of education has a large percentage of their graduates failing this test, it's no skin off their nose because they get paid in full. So that's also a problem right there. I think that those two systems need a really hard look.
Yeah, a very important issue that clearly needs better solutions right now. Erika Sanzi, thank you so much for your time and expertise tonight.